For example, I've got $100 in my pocket. I keep it in for, let's just say, 2 years' time, and I say I'm too scared to do anything. Have you seen the cost of living right now?
There you go. Yeah.
So the power of leverage. Who knows that better than you?
100%, yeah.
I mean, just imagine how much you can achieve by using your existing debts. Like, this is my question for you. If my daughter comes to you and say, Arshad, I want to buy my first home. It's not going to be my forever home. Is your strategy going to be, hey, look, go and buy the most expensive house right now?
Definitely not, right? Because you need to. Hi, Umair. Thanks for joining us in this Next Pathway Property podcast episode. You're looking very smart today. I feel a little bit underdressed. So for those dialing in today or listening in, we're going to be talking about the biggest mistakes first and second generation migrants make from a financial perspective. And we're also going to be talking about how to vision board and financially goal set your long-term goals, especially for migrants, how to think about it. Because I think financial literacy, especially in some of the communities that we're in, is not as high as they are in other communities. But before we jump into all that good stuff, Umair, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and why you're the person to listen, for them to be listening to on this topic.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me over. Look, I am a financial advisor, so I help people understand what their financial vision is and what their goal is. And I help them achieve that. That's what my job is all about. Helping them understand that where they are financially right now and where they want to be, we help them achieve those targets.
Beautiful, beautiful, amazing. So we're going to jump into a lot of the specifics of that. Let's, obviously, we have a financial plan on today. We're not going to be talking about property. That we'll be probably talking about a bit, but we're not going to be jumping into property as in depth as we usually do. We're going to be talking a lot more about financial concepts. So whenever we talk about financial concepts, we gotta throw out our disclaimer.
Yeah, we do.
As always, this podcast, all the information here is general in nature. Make sure you consult professionals for your specific circumstances. Did I get the disclaimer right?
Well, almost. So what you have to do is you have to say that please keep in mind that any information provided over here is just general in nature. Please take your financial circumstances in consideration before acting on any advice.
Okay.
Now, this is me being a bit cheeky. Please get financial advice.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a financial advisor, it might be a bit early in the episode to do a plug, but if you are looking for one, Umair is a brilliant one, right? So there you go. Now, we're going to be talking about migrants, right? Or first, second generation migrants. So I guess first generation migrants, I guess people that have come to Australia within their lifetime. Second generation migrants are the people that are the kids of those people, right? And then obviously third generation, fourth generation. I guess probably by like the fifth generation, you don't even call them migrants anymore. They're just like Aussies, right? Or like people don't think of it like that. Now, I guess it'll be a fair statement to say financial literacy is lower in these communities, right?
Absolutely.
Why is it lower in these communities, just from your experience working with a lot of these communities?
Look, I've been doing this for over a decade now. So the one thing I see is that it mostly starts from home. So for example, mom and dad, they have a different mindset towards finances. Majority of people moving from a different part of the world, they are mostly coming from a situation where there is financial crisis in their own country over there. Maybe there's a war going on, or there's this overall lack of security in finances. So they always look at the perspective of having ownership of physical assets. So for example, like, have you ever thought about this, that why a lot of people like to invest in gold and silver? That yes, it has its value into it, but back in the day, a lot of people, when there used to be like an invasion or there used to be a war going on, people would grab whatever they could and then run. If you look at what's happening in this era right now, obviously we don't have invasions coming in as per se, but still, let's not make it political.
Not in Australia, at least.
Not in Australia. We are very, very blessed from that. But the thing is that a lot of these different countries where people come from, they have a lot of political instability as well. So you can have a really, really successful organization going in, but the next minute you can have the same business owner owning maybe like about, let's just say, $100 million business can disappear next day because he has a massive argument with one of the political leaders. And then he's gone. So that's why when all these people move from different parts of the world in Australia, they need to understand that there's a different financial mindset. It's just not all about using the same methodology or the financial mindset that you have been passed on from generation to generation. Yes, that could work in the country where you're from originally, but it may not work for Australia. And I've seen this happen. I can give you an example for my own family. My dad brought us here when we were kids. So dad being a typical dad, working really, really hard as a migrant dad, he has provided everything for us. And he's made really good property portfolio as well. But he's now asset rich, cash poor from that perspective that if he wants to take more funds out, it would be a bit difficult. And then he can trigger a lot of capital gains tax as well for it. Does that...
Makes perfect sense. I feel like, I guess to add to that, I think a lot of these people that are coming from those communities are like tougher times, right? The first generation, their goal is not really a major, like a building wealth goal. It's more like a building stability goal, right? It's like, how do we plant our roots here? How do we ensure we have careers? How do we at least try to get a home that we can live in, right? And that's super important, right? But now the second generation, right? I guess it also depends on the background you're coming from. Some people come as economic migrants, some people come as refugees, so on and so forth. But that's for a lot of people that are coming from tougher backgrounds. That's the big thing, right? But now with the second generation, you know, I've got heaps of friends. I know heaps of people where, you know, their parents came as from tough backgrounds, refugees, worked in like, you know, low paying jobs, you know, making not a significant amount of money. And now that individual's a doctor. I'm making $600K per year, right? But because they haven't shifted their mindset and they don't have that, I think the other big thing as well is in other communities, they've got like, it's not just the mindset, but they've got so many people around them. You know, it's like, if you're someone from like eastern suburb Sydney, you know, you're probably raised around people who are all super rich, who are talking about investing from a young age, who, you know, maybe for your 13th birthday party, they buy you, you know, your first stock or whatever it is. They put, you know, $500 in your ComSec account or, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's, you just learn it just from existing in that environment, right? Whereas, again, a lot of, I guess, migrant communities don't have that as much, right? So it's a matter of now, with these migrant communities, how do we build that into the next phase, right? So that's, I think that's a good question now, or a good point. Now, I really want to jump into the vision boarding stuff, right? Because this is something you do with pretty much all of your clients, and they all love it, right? You know, all the people we've worked on together, they love this this process. So, I guess walk us through it. Why is it important to do this, and what does this process look like?
Fair enough.
Especially for migrants.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Look, I like visual representation of something. If I want to learn something, I'm a better learner by looking at visuals rather than just reading text coming in. So for example, when a client can come to you, they already have a vision in their mind that I want to have financial stability by investing in property, which is absolutely fine. But then you show them actual pictures so they can relate to those pictures. Whereas in financial planning, we talk about future growth, which is very, very broad. How can you determine that I want to have financial stability? What does that look like for you? It's different for every single person.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Exactly. So everyone has a different point of view for that. Some people would say financial stability for me means being able to pay just my basic monthly expenses. For a few people, it may be, look, we want to replace our entire income. So many different things can come up. So what we do over here is that we divide your goals in 3 different sections. So you have short-term, medium, and then long-term growth coming in. So these are the different goals you want to achieve in your life. We give you pictures. We give you different explanations of those things. So for example, it could be, I want to say, sorry, tax man, I don't want to give you that much money, which I think everybody wants to do right now. But with saying that, you need to structure your finances in a way that you can claim those deductions as well in a legal manner.
Of course.
Then another thing could be like, I want to teach my kids how to be more financially stable. So it's the same thing I'm doing for my daughter as well. Like when she was born, I put in a couple of $1,000s in the stock, and I'm putting in $300 every single month. The idea is that when she turns,
father.
Thank you. So the idea is that when she turns 21, she should come to you and say, Arshad, can we buy a house? Now,
how much do you predict her to have based on your modeling? What do you think?
So based on my modeling, what I'm thinking about is something starting off with like about $1,000 or $2,000, starting off with that, and then you put in $300 a month for the next 21 years. You want to do compounding on that.
Exactly.
So compounding can go really, really, really far. Yeah. So my previous modeling, what I did for my daughter was that we had $5,000 invested in stocks for her. When she was born, I got too emotional. All of a sudden, like,
if it was a son, it would be less.
If it was
a son, you would have been like $50, but for the daughter, it had to be $5,000.
Look, maybe. So I have a son as well now.
Now I feel bad.
That's okay. So I did the same for him as well. So what I did is like I put $5,000 and I'm putting in $300 a month for both. So $300 each. The idea is that in 21 years' time, they should have close to 267,000 or 250,000. Don't hold me accountable on the exact number. But the reason why I've gone for a 10% return over here is because if you look at Vanguard charts for the last 30 years, you can see that they're like the projection coming up is about 10%. Now, when I've said Vanguard, once again, compliance can come in and say, what have you done? I am not recommending Vanguard. I'm just giving an example of the different
an example of a fund that grows at 10%.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Or has grown at 10%.
Has grown 10%. So the idea is that my kids can have a really good down payment, so they can come to you and say, hey, listen, we want to buy a house.
Buy our first property.
Right? Yeah. So the first property
and even if it's not doing 10%, if it's doing 6%, it's still going to be better off than them having nothing.
Absolutely.
Like whatever it is, it's still going to be better off than them. And whatever you invest in, as long as it's not a bad investment that's going down, it's better than holding cash, right?
100%. Look, the biggest evil in all of this is inflation. Like if I keep on holding up money and I keep it in my bank or I keep it under my pillow, the value of that money is going down. So for example, I've got $100 in my pocket. I keep it in for, let's just say 2 years' time, and I say, I'm too scared to do anything. Have you seen the cost of living right now?
There you go. Yeah.
Just imagine like about 2 years ago, $100 could buy maybe one person, maybe 1 week's worth of grocery now. Now I feel like even if I drive past Woolworths or Coles, and without even going in, $100 is gone. I don't know how to do it.
They got like an automatic, when you tap to pay, they've got like an automatic tap.
I haven't even stepped in. Wait, where's my $100?
There you go.
So what I mean to say for this is that you need to plan your structures out. So that's why if you look at my goal over here, that in the next 3 to 5 years' time, I want to pay off like my HEX, or like I want to have like I'm sleeping and my money is working for me. So that's like passive income coming in. So as I'm showing over here, that my short-term goal is that look, I want to like save as much tax as possible. But the money I save up, I want to also have passive income coming in. So for the next 3 to 5 years' time, I want to have enough growth coming in. That I can make something out of it. And the future one is that I want to have financial stability when I'm retiring. Now, I have a lot of gray hair, but I promise you I'm not that old. So the idea is that in the next maybe 10, 15 years' time, I want to grow my super, I want to grow my investments. And at the bottom, I will put down what are the steps I'm going to do in order to achieve them. That's what we tell our clients as well, that have a visual representation.
So it's like a vision board, right? It's like with anything, when it's like I always tell my clients as well, right? It's hard the goals should inform the strategy, not the other way around.
100%.
Right? Because if you don't have a goal, you'll just be doing random things at random points, and they might work out, right? Like it'll most likely be better off than doing nothing.
Yep.
But if you have an understanding of what your goals are, right, you can refine your strategy to exactly suit those goals.
100%.
And it's not like those goals are static, they can change year on year. With all of our clients, we do like yearly reviews, right? They'll be like, oh, actually, maybe let's pause buying that 5th property because we had another child, our cash flow circumstances have changed, right? Or actually, we want to focus more on buying a clinic now, so we're going to pause the investment property side of things for another 2 years. So it's like building that broader goal, right? And then reviewing that and organizing the actions according to the goal is the most important. And for most people who are not in the industry, it's tough to create a goal without something like this, right? Because they don't even know what they're envisioning. I guess for people like us, we're in the industry, we know what's possible, we can create numbers, right? And we can lean on those numbers. But for other people, they're like, what is an achievable goal? And what do I actually want outside of just the money, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure if you ask everyone over here, do you want $5 million? They'd be like, okay, right? But it's like within what's realistic, what is our actual goals? And I think that's where a process like this becomes helpful. So now someone comes to you, and actually before we get to that, is there a place where someone can download something like this and they can do this activity at home? What's a good way for them to do this activity?
Look, you can come to our website and just send us an email, and we can send you all the different pictures. We can send you the A3 paper as well. And like you can have all of this literally being posted to you as well. We can email you this, no problem.
Done. Beautiful. Just a quick shout out, what's your website?
It's peridowealth.com.au. So have you heard of that 80-20 rule?
Yes, the Pareto principle.
Yeah, the Pareto principle. So rather than saying Pareto principle, write down peridowealth.com.au.
So that's PARETO wealth.com.au. Beautiful. So if everyone's looking for this template, jump on the website, shoot them an email, and hopefully we will. They'll definitely get back to you and then take it from there. Okay. So now someone's set up their goals. I want to touch through, especially with migrants, 3 of the biggest mistakes you see migrants make along achieving their goals.
All right. So the biggest mistake is they never budget properly. They've got so many impulse buying coming in, and the other biggest issue is that
you're talking to the king of the impulse buy.
Okay, so you need advice. No, look, the thing is that it's all about making a budget for yourself. Okay, so number 1 is the lack of budget. They either do too much budgeting that they don't enjoy their life, or they just enjoy life too much, they don't do any savings. You need to find that right balance for yourself. That's 100%. Very, very
important. It's a spectrum, right? I always tell my clients there's a trade-off, right? The more short-term quality of life you sacrifice, the more money you'll make in the long term. But how much do you actually want to do? And it's interesting, like, I guess there is no correct answer, but I see people on some of our clients are like, bro, they live life like crazy. Maybe they could be buying way more properties, but they're out there living life. And then you have clients on the other end of the spectrum where they're really like budgeting and saving like crazy, but they're buying heaps of properties. I don't think there's a right answer. It's a completely subjective question.
Look, that's right. The reason why I say find a right balance is that even though you're saving a lot of money, you're letting go of some really good holidays that you can have with your family.
Sustainability.
Exactly. So the most important thing is that you need to find the right balance, number 1. Number 2 is that majority of people are trying to buy assets overseas. I don't get that. That, yes, okay, maybe some investments could be really good if you purchase them overseas, but what about Australia in itself? Are you really going to go? You're not. So look at the investment opportunities within the country that you're living in. I mean, Australia has given you so much. It's such a beautiful country. Like, I still miss living in Gold Coast, to be honest. Like, especially living from in Melbourne and then living in Gold Coast. I constantly think about coming to you and saying, Arshad, here's some money. Can you get me something for my retirement?
In Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy something here. They're trying to take the money overseas, thinking that the dollar value overseas is going to be higher, so we can purchase something over there for cheaper as opposed to something over
But
here.
the quality of growth isn't even as good.
Exactly.
Right. And then in all honesty, even if and this is something that's happened to, I guess, people in my family as well. It's like, even if the quality of growth on that asset is good, especially yields in overseas countries are good, once you take into consideration the currency, it's like all of your growth is gone from the currency perspective.
100%.
Plus, it's like you're not making use of all the lending infrastructure that exists in Australia.
That's it.
Like Australia, your ability to use equity or the ability to structure using the entities you set up under, right? It'll allow you to make a lot more money.
100%.
Yeah.
So the power of leverage. Who knows that better than you?
100%. Yeah.
I mean, just imagine how much you can achieve by using your existing debts. And debt is not your enemy. Inflation is your biggest enemy.
100%. Yeah. I think that's, I'd almost say that's mistake number 3.
Yeah.
Like thinking that debt is the enemy, right? Like I think like the migrant mindset is, any debt I have, I'm going to pay it down as aggressively and as fast as possible. I'm just going to be paid on debt. And then, but debt structured correctly and put into the right assets is a money generating,
100%.
a money generating process, not a loss making process, right? So I think that's a pretty big one as well.
Yeah.
But actually, so I threw in that third one.
Okay.
What is your third one?
Actually, it was inflation and then debt as well. So for example, obviously, if you've got a debt that you really have to pay off, fine. But there are different definitions of debt as well. There's good debt, there's bad debt. But if you're borrowing money to go and, for example, go on a world tour on first class tickets, maybe that's a good decision to do as well. Because I have literally seen people, they are having really bad medical conditions. They don't have that much time left. They want to create those memories. Which is fine. But
at the end of the day, wealth is just a means to an end.
That's it.
Right? It's not like the actual thing.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some migrants out there watching this, hopefully. I'm hoping. What's some advice you have for them on next steps? What's like someone they finish watching this video and they're like, okay, I'm inspired. What should they do? Apart from booking a consult with you, apart from reaching out to Pareto Wealth, what should they do?
I think they should do a lot more studies. Do a lot more research, do a lot more education. There are government websites known as moneysmart.gov.au. If you have an idea of where you want to invest, go to that website. They've got so much information available over there. Have a read of that. Stop taking advice from your uncle, please, or like one of your friends who's got no idea about finances. It's important you need to hire the right people for you, to go and bat for you. So you need to have a really good accountant. You need to have a really good buyer's agent. You need to have a really good lawyer, a really good financial advisor. Because at the end of the day, yes, you may be paying a little bit of money to them, but the amount of money that they can save you and the
amount
peace
of money
of
they
mind
can make you.
and they make you as well is insane.
Yeah. I think that, and honestly, the biggest thing as well is it's one, the quality of the results a team can get you.
Yeah.
But beyond that is that time that they'll save you, if you funnel that energy and time into growing your own career, right? You'll make a lot more money in that space. And then you make more money in your career 100%. So that then you can invest more using your team.
That's
right. So it's like you have a good team, they save your time and they get you the best results, and you take all that time and effort and you go back into scaling your portfolio, and it becomes like a cyclical thing, right?
Yep.
Beautiful. So study, research, build a team.
Yep.
Right. Anything else, or you think those are the main?
I think start with that.
Start with that.
Start
Don't
with that.
overcomplicate.
There are so many other things you have to look at.
I'd add one more to that. I'd say start thinking through what your goals are and what you want to achieve.
100%.
Right. I think that's something probably you do with the financial planner, right? But if you don't have those goals, then you're just kind of shooting in the dark, right? And you might end up hitting something, but it's better if you're shooting with a target, right? You know what I mean? Then you know exactly what you want to do.
100%. So look, the most important thing is that whenever you're coming up with different goals in your mind, you need to have that positive mindset as well, that, okay, I can achieve that target. But as they say, like a journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step. You need to take that first step. At least.
Actually, yeah, I'd say that's the biggest thing, being an action taker.
Exactly.
Right.
And the other thing is that coming back to family and your investments, if you think right now, Arshad, that we as parents or as people who are going to have kids in the future, if it's difficult for us to join the property market right now, imagine what's going to happen to the kids in the future.
100%. It's like for everyone, their progeny, their generations is super important, right?
Exactly.
The
legacy.
The legacy, their kids, right? I think especially, like, if anyone thinks about that, it's migrants, right?
100%.
And I think building that wealth to be able to leave them to be able to leave them not even a legacy, at least something to start off on, right, is super important.
100%. So when you said that some migrants coming in and they're the first generation migrants and their job is just to get a roof over their head and try to settle themselves up, that's fine. So your goal could be to set your kids up. Maybe it's not the best time for you right now. I get that. But if you're going to do any investments and you don't want to do it for yourself, or you can't do it for yourself, maybe think about your kids. Just really think about the fact that would they be able to do what you did? The answer may be no. So how can you save a little bit of money every now and then? Like I was listening to somebody about this. They said that if you want to spend $10,000 in a year, that's like nearly $27 a day that you have to spend in order to spend that $10,000. So imagine if you're going out and you're buying 3 cups of coffee every single day. I'm not going against the cafes, but all I'm saying is that maybe save that $5 every single day and see what that can do for you. But don't put that under your pillow. Actually invest that. And the idea is to grow your investments with stocks and shares, build that portfolio up, and then come to you and buy a physical asset if you really want to. That's great. But do you buy it through your trust? Do you buy it through your SMSF? That's a discussion you want to have with me. Of, Umair, what's going to happen with this money when I pass away?
You know, because the biggest thing as well, like one there's, I don't want to jump into the estate planning conversation because that's going to be a very long one. But estate planning is super important. But outside of that is structuring from a tax perspective, right? You can have 2 individuals, one who grew their portfolio by 100% and another who grew their portfolio by 150%. But once everything's said and done, the one with 100% might have more money at the end because of the way that they structured it from a tax perspective, right? So it's like tax structuring is super important, right? That's why you have an accountant, you have a financial planner, because it's like, okay, yes, buying the right asset is important, but the right asset in the wrong structure can be less profitable. Like a 10 out of 10 asset in the wrong structure can be less profitable than an 8 out of 10 asset in the right structure.
100%. So structure is everything. Like,
everything is a bit much.
Fair enough. Okay.
I feel that's a little
close to it.
Close to it.
Okay.
70%. No, I'm just having a laugh.
But the thing is, I mean, I'm sure I saw a lot of your posts coming up about the new budget. Now, this new budget has changed the game a lot. So if you have the right structures in place, you can benefit from that. When you're investing in property, majority of time, it's a long-term investment, isn't it? If you're trying to get a short-term investment, that's fine. I've got no issues with that. That's great. But you have to consider the tax implications. Are you purchasing that property so your kids can use it? Like the other day, I was having a chat with one of my clients, and he said that he wants to buy a property, give it to his kids when he passes away, and he wants to divide that among all his kids. And I'm like, okay, but why are you telling them to sell it? What if they have the ability of holding on to that asset? And what if they do a refinance on their loans and get the money out and use it for other areas as well and reduce their tax implications? And he said, never thought about this. I'm like, well, we're here for that. So even like this is my question for you. If my daughter comes to you and say, Arshad, I want to buy my first home. It's not going to be my forever home. Is your strategy going to be, hey, look, go and buy the most expensive house right now?
Definitely not, right? Because you need to ensure that you have some sort of a budget to upscale and keep going, right?
That's it. So do you need a structure for that?
100%.
There you go.
There you go.
And that budgeting structure, if I do it properly, even if I pass away, my wife passes away, we want to put down wills coming in that the assets remain within our bloodline and my kids can use it. So I like to say this, controlling the assets beyond the grave, in which as a parent, I can put down some very specific instructions for my kids. That, hey, look, you can get this money at this age. If you do this, if you do this, if you do this, you get the money coming in. It's to protect them. It's not, it doesn't mean that I don't trust my kids. It just means that they're too young.
There you go.
So let me help you out on this. I want to get the best lawyer coming in and drafting my will. I'm happy to pay a couple of $1,000 to make sure that my kids are safe. That's it.
There you go. Beautiful. All right, Umair, thanks for joining us. I mean, there's a lot more to cover, but I feel like we covered the main points, especially for hopefully as a starting point. There's obviously heaps to cover. I'd say the two biggest takeaways is take action, right? Start learning and upskilling, and start speaking to people and building your team around you so that you can take action, right? If all you got from this video is to do that, then I think that's enough, you know what I mean? Beautiful. And hopefully we'll have you on another episode in the future. We'll maybe pick a specific topic and dive even in more depth. And any final words, thoughts for those at home?
Look, the only final thought is psychology is a big thing. Make sure the goals that you're looking for, you can emotionally connect with them as well. And then pick
because that's going to make it easier to go through the process of achieving them.
100%.
Beautiful. Brilliant. Thanks, Umair. And thanks for all those listening or watching at home.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Bye.